Subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button, click the bell button and get all the new videos.
Ladies and gentlemen, right from the onset of human existence, human beings have made tremendous journey towards continued development. Since arrival into this mortal world, human beings constantly strive to explore and assimilate knowledge from surrounding nature to augment understanding of their own creation as well as their creator. In order to befittingly acquire, accumulate, and assess labyrinth of information, we are blessed by Almighty with multi-core data processors and storage devices called minds. However, to use this gift effectively, we must have sound understanding of the basic structure of mind, its multi-dimensional capabilities, and the common yet subtle ways in which this faculty can be improved and developed. Once we are able to think positively, we can surmount greater challenges with ease and confidence, irrespective of the odds that confront our destiny. Hence, the importance of today's topic, why is positive thinking important for success, needs no further emphasis. The lecture will consume approximately 50 minutes and will be followed by a question-answer session. We are extremely fortunate today to have with us Professor Dr. Moiz Hussain, a renowned figure in the field of mind sciences. He has done his master's in psychology before completing PhD in clinical hypnotherapy. He is also an internationally certified hypnotist and Reiki master, as well as pioneer of latter in the country. Dr. Moiz has also done various other certifications from internationally acclaimed institutes of mind sciences and has been conducting workshops and courses extensively in the country as well as abroad. He has the credit of training thousands of people from all walks of life. Besides, our worthy speaker has also appeared on numerous national and international television and radio channels as guest and field expert, sharing his insight, vision, and research about his field as well as providing online advice to many viewers across the country. He has also authored a book, namely Pebbles on the Beach, that has been published both nationally and internationally. So, on behalf of the Commandant, faculty, and cadets, I formally welcome you and without further ado, request you to kindly address the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Dr. Moiz Hussain.
Am I loud and clear now? Great. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'll keep it here. By the way, I was very impressed with the introduction. This young man, you have a beautiful voice. And he was so clear on what to say. Last week I usually go to National Institute of Management, previously NEPA, where I train grade 18 and grade 19 officers in emotional intelligence and anger management. So, whoever comes to give my introduction, I sort of shocked. A grade 18 officer does not know how to give an introduction. He does not know how to speak English. I was shocked. So, I'm very impressed. Thank you very much, young man. Beautiful voice. Anyway, the subject here is positive thinking. Normally, I don't use slides because I believe in eye-to-eye interaction, right? But whenever there's a huge crowd, like here over here, then it becomes difficult to have eye contact with each and every one of you. So that's why I got this slide. I made it last minute yesterday. And this will give basic explanation of what we are talking about. But the subject that I'm going to introduce will be in a very different way. You may have never heard about it, and you will never do ever in your life. I've been teaching people how to use their mind, and most of them that I teach how to use their mind, the do not have a mind of their own. They have borrowed minds. And most of us don't have a mind of our own. By the time we are 7 years old, we are programmed, completely programmed. I'm sure all of you are well versed with computer, right? Software programming. We are programmed. So after the age of 7, whatever you learn, you never learn anything new. Nothing new. Already the perception, the paradigms, the mindset, the filters, the lenses that have been developed and put in your mind till the age of 7, the rest of your life, whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you feel, whatever you taste, and whatever you smell is exactly what these filters allow you to do. You do not know what the reality is. You accept something based on the distortion, deletion and generalization of information that comes from the external world, and you make it proper for your own belief, based on your belief, your interest, your likes and dislikes. So in reality, after the age of 7 years, you never learn anything new. This is a fact. That's why most people don't have a mind of their own. They have a borrowed mind. But then this is the case with this civilization, so we can't do anything about it. But yes, whenever we realize at any particular time in our life, oh my God, is there something else that I can think about, that I can learn? That's what opens up the mind to new learnings and new ways of thinking. Before I do that, I was told that the students here and even the faculty are very intelligent people. Is it true? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now mine, I never give a boring lecture. My lecture is always interesting. So I make sure that you move your bodies also, because when your bodies move, your brain opens. If your body is sitting still, the brain is closed. It is very simple. Neurology is connected with physiology. Physiology is your body. Neurology is your brain. Whenever your body moves, your brain gets into action. And this is so interesting and amazing that if you see people depressed, what is the posture like? If you ever see a depressed person, this is physiology. Depression is neurology. And you see a person walking with chest out, shoulders back, looking up, he is in a great confident mood. So this posture shows the neurology that the person is in a confident mood, a good mood, a joyous mood. So before I sort of start my lecture formally, I am about 50 minutes, 45 minutes now. I would like to test your intelligence. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
I believe the people in armed forces, they hear more. Is it true? Sure, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's check out how much you hear. I'll take a tissue because I think it's slightly hot in here. Okay, now listen carefully. Do exactly what I ask you to do, nothing except what I ask you to do, only what I ask you to do. Do exactly what I ask you to, nothing except what I ask you to do, only what I ask you to do, right? So raise both your hands, come on. Raise both your hands, come on. Let's see how intelligent you are. Now, wave your right hand, you know which hand is right? A lot of people don't know, okay? And this is your left? Great, good. Now, bring your left hand down. Raise your right hand slightly up. Now, keep looking at me. Don't look anywhere else. Keep your eyes open, keep looking at me. Now, I want you to open your fingers and close them. Now, take a deep breath, open your fingers and think of somebody you love. Think of somebody you love. Now, exhale, close your fingers. Again, open your fingers, inhale, think of somebody you love. Exhale, close your fingers. Now make a hole. Look at my face through this hole and put it on your chin. Where is your chin? Cadets have it here. It is part of your training item. The chin is here. Now, thank you very much. Some of you knew it. Okay, what happened? I told you, do exactly what I asked you to do. Didn't I? This is what I said, right? But somehow, I made you so involved. I basically took you to a confusion mode. Take a deep breath, open your fingers, think of somebody you love. Then I got into your mind. I controlled you. And I made you put your fingers on your forehead instead of your chin because you were in a confusion mode, and whenever you're in a confusion mode, somebody else can control you. This is the principle here. Because I am hypnotist, right? So I hypnotize people, so I know how to do it. But it's okay. You may have your chin here. Once you finish your career here, passing out parade, academy will give you chin back. So let's talk about positive thinking. Is this the button? Because I'm not using it. Which button is the one? I don't use this. Okay. So we are talking about positive thinking. Okay. Now, a shock to you. There is no such thing as positive thinking. There is no such thing as positive thinking. Let's understand both these words, positive and thinking. Now, why is it that there is no positive thinking? Shock, right? Because positivity is a relative term. It's a relative term. And whatever that is relative cannot be absolute. I hope I am making sense. Okay. So, positivity is relative. Why? Because if something is positive for me, it may not be positive for you. And if something is positive for you, it may not be positive for me. For example, whenever you feel low, whenever you feel tired, have some cold drink. It has sugar, packs you up, you get into a state of hyperness. But the same possibility cannot be for a diabetic person. Right? Meat is great for health, it contains protein. But a person with high cholesterol, it is not positive. So positive and negative are relative terms. Many times in your life, you may have experienced positivity, but the same positivity cannot be regarded as positive in some later part of your life. So things change. So positivity and negativity are relative terms. Let's understand what should we use instead of the term positivity. Yes, I'm feeling good. Great, thank you. By itself, positivity does not have an image. Now I'm talking in terms of mind language. Your brain does not work in words. No, it works in images. For example, if there is a cat here, C-A-T cat, and I look at the cat, how do I know it's a cat? How? Is there a label on the cat that this is a cat? No. The moment I see a cat, the image goes in my brain, and my brain tries to find an image similar to this. So previous image, a prior image that already have when I was a child as a cat, because of that image I am able to understand and able to know what this animal is, and I say it's a cat. So your brain does not work in words, it works in images. Okay? Secondly, every word that we hear and we speak has a certain connotation, has a certain perception. Think about it. If you were to tell your friend, my God, you are a lion, he'll be happy. Happy or not? Okay. Tell him you are a dog. He'll be very angry, right? Now a dog is much better than a lion. A lion is a selfish animal. The lioness hunts, the lion eats. But the dog is the most faithful, dog and horse, most faithful animals as far as human beings are concerned. Even if it's hungry, it is not going to bother you. It is going to be a faithful animal, your friend for life. But the moment we hear the word dog, we have a different perception, a different connotation, and in fact a different feeling for that animal. But for a lion, we have a different perception. Okay? So, the perception that we have about each word basically is an image, a picture in our brain. So maybe as a child, you were told to throw stones whenever you see a dog. And that's how you considered a dog as an inferior animal. But you never encountered a lion. Right? So you don't know what to do if the lion is in front of you. So you consider lion as the king of the jungle. Nonsense. It's not the king of the jungle. But you believe it. So what you believe is reality. And it may not be real, but for you it's a reality. So each one of us has what we call a personal reality. And based on that personal reality, which may be right or wrong, we live our life. We work out accordingly. We build relationships. We work professionally. We interact with other human beings. And our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is based on the subjective reality, the personal reality that we have. Okay. So we need to move on and understand. First of all, the word is positive. So what would be the best word which would invoke a certain image in our brain? So I suggest two words instead of the word positive thinking. Productive. Now what does the word productive mean? It means something is happening. Right? Productive. You are productive. So a productive thinking means a thinking that leads you from A to B. But positive thinking does not imply any action. A person will think positively throughout his life. But nothing happens until he is compelled to take action. And for action, feelings are important. Feelings are fuel. You have a car, the car cannot run by itself. Either it is to run on solar energy or electric or fuel. So feelings are fuel. If you don't have feelings, your thoughts will not culminate into an action. This is very, very important. All of you. Because you are going to go through tough days, and you are going through tough days, I'm sure. Right? It's physical toughness, it's mental toughness. You will learn to make decisions. You will learn to take responsibility of your actions. Then as you grow up and advance in your career, there will be situations in your life where you need to be very strong, very tough. Not physically, but also mentally. So you need to understand, the map is not the territory. The map. You all are well versed with the word map, aren't you? The map is not the territory. It means that the map is just an image of the actual territory. It cannot be the actual territory. Which actually means that what you believe will not be true for the other person. So in your relationships as professionals or personal relationships, you need to understand that the other person, maybe your spouse, your parents, your friends, your teachers, your bosses, they may have a different perception about things, and you may have a different perception. And the beauty is, accept each other. The other person is not wrong just because you think it's wrong. He is right in his own way, you are right in your own way. Come to a common platform. This is what happens in human relationships. If you want to be effective as a person, as a soldier, and as a human being, learn to accept differences and find similarities in people. This positivity does not work. So either it has to be productive. Productive thinking, which means I'm going to produce something. I'm going to go from here to there. I'm going to work. I'm going to put so many hours in my studies. I'm going to put so many hours in my training, and that I'm going to be productive. The other word, which again is very interesting, is called resourceful thinking. Now, what is a resource? Interesting. Anything external or internal. For example, I have a car. Car is a resource, right? It helps me to get things done. I have people working for me, so they are my external resource. If I have cash in bank, it's an external resource. If I have lands, house, gold, jewelry, is external resource. I have friends, external resource. I have good bosses, good teachers, external resource. I am in the military academy or the naval academy, I am in the Air Force academy, external resource. So these are external resources. We all have these external resources. Some have more, some have less, but we do have it. We have legs on which we can walk, external resource. We can speak, we can talk, external resource. The important ones are not external, they are internal. For example, confidence in yourself, internal resource. How you see yourself, self-image, internal resource. Commitment, honesty, dedication, courage, internal resource. These internal resources are the main drivers. You see somebody excel in the Navy, find out to be amazed. Yes, certain internal resources that you may not even know about. There was an experiment done in the early 80s. A group of people who found the secret of resourceful state and how the internal resources can make you achieve certain things. They created a program and they talked with the US Marines, the sharpshooters. People shoot at a distance, sharpshooters. And they said, your training gives you a result of 20% above average. Right? If a soldier is trained to be a sharpshooter, then the training that they provide to the soldier gives him an edge of 20% above an average soldier as far as shooting a target is concerned. So they said, give those soldiers to us and we give you exceptional results. So we got them a bunch of soldiers, they went through a training of a few months and their results were 40% plus. You know what happened? What did they do? Those who were great sharpshooters, perfect sharpshooters, they sat with them first and asked them about internal thinking. Now there are two kinds of thinking. One is the thinking that we know that we are thinking. But then most of the time we don't know what we are thinking until we start thinking what we are thinking. So there are two thoughts. One is at the conscious level, one is at the subconscious level. Right? When you're praying in your namaz, and suddenly your mind gets somewhere else. And all of a sudden you realize, my God, what am I doing? You bring your mind back onto namaz again. That fleeting thought was the subconscious level. So they asked some of the top marksmen, you call them marksmen, right? Top marksmen to answer certain questions. For example, when you have the butt of the rifle on your shoulder, chest, what does it feel like? Does it feel like wood? Does it feel like steel? What do you feel like? What do you smell? Now these are strange questions. You would never ask anybody like that, right? A butt is a butt. What does it smell got to do with it? How do you feel like it? What is the kind of taste you have when you are aiming at the target? What kind of a taste? Now these are unconscious strategies or unconscious resourceful states. So they came up with certain things, bizarre. The same strategy that they had elicited from top marksmen was pasted. I use the word that we use in computer, copy and paste it, on regular soldiers, and the result was 40% plus. So thinking is not just what you think you are thinking, there is something else. And this particular thinking has a lot of resource. Again, to make it very simple. Suppose I'm given an award. A lot of people there clapping, thanking, congratulating me, and I'm thanking the host or whatever it is. Now this particular moment, when I hear a lot of clapping, I'm on the stage. I'm being appreciated for something that I've done. There are cameras, there are flashlights. All this is going into my brain as a memory. So there are 5 senses, we all know that, right? Eyes, ears, nose, touch, and taste. They are called olfactory, gustatory, kinesthetic, visual, and auditory. 5 senses. So the information goes and it becomes a memory. But it's not just a memory that has a certain resource. Because I felt on top of the world, I was appreciated. People clapped for me, and I felt so proud, and I felt so confident. This is a resourceful state. Suppose tomorrow, I'm in a situation where I have to give a presentation. My boss has given me an assignment, and somehow I'm stuck, I don't know what to do. I feel low, I feel depressed, I'm missing my home, I feel depressed. My God, Naval Academy is very tough. They make me run so much, they make me do so much. So there are times when I'm feeling low, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling less motivated. What do? I start thinking of that particular time when I was in a resourceful state. Instantly my state will change. See, your brain does not have a brain. Do you know that? Your brain does not have a brain. So when you start thinking, Your brain doesn't know whether your thinking is real or unreal. Give you an example. Think of the favorite food that you love to eat. Karachiites is biryani or halim. We love biryani and halim. People in Punjab love punna, siri pie, stuff like that. So if you close your eyes and imagine that there is this particular dish that you love, let's say biryani, and think of the color of the biryani and think of the aroma of the biryani, instantly your stomach will start producing gastric juices, digestive juices, although there is no food. But your brain does not know whether you are imagining it or it is real. And this is the secret, that if you learn to use it, I tell you, you will do amazing. I did a couple of trainings for the Pakistan Navy Kasas shooting range. My younger son, when he was about 14, was taken by the Navy and into the rifle shooting, I don't know what they call it. So I taught him how to use it. And he was in the Asian Championship, he got a silver medal, he was number 2. But then his studies were being affected because every day he used to go for his practice. I said, stop it. You don't need to. Now it's fine. Only thing is learn how to use your thinking. So it's not just positive thinking, it is something else. Positive thinking is a mental attitude. It is a mental attitude where you expect good and favorable results. So it's written there, I'm not going to talk about it. But it's okay for an average person. On the street, positive thinking is the word. Use positive thinking, not for you guys. Okay, I'm here to teach you something very different. Because you're going to excel and you're going to be leaders in your own field. So you have to think something very different. Positive thinking is gaining popularity among us. But remember, it is thinking, but it is a resourceful thinking. It is a productive thinking, not just positive thinking. The whole nation is asked to think positively. What are the results? Nil. Because there are no actions. See, I'm sorry I have to say this, but this is the truth. I don't know how many Muslim nations are there in this world, but definitely we are the largest majority as far as religion is concerned, right? The largest Muslim population is Indonesia. And then we also are quite big. Then we have Muslim populations in India, everywhere in the world. So we are a huge population. We have numerous masjids, mosques all over the world. Jummah prayer, there are so many worshippers that you have to have these stuffs on the road. There's no place in the masjid itself, right? You know that, right? Okay. How many people go for Umrah and Hajj every year? And up till now, how many have gone? 1400 years since now? Millions. We can't even count how many people have performed Hajj, Umrah since Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We can't count them, right? And still, why are we as Muslims who are supposed to lead this entire world as leaders are suffering? It is because of inaction. It is not negative or positive thinking. We all know the Quran says very clearly, whatever you think I shall give you. Guman, the word is Guman in the Holy Book. Jo Guman karoge wo milega. And of course, everybody wants a good life. Isn't it? Do you think bad? No, of course. You want promotion, you want a good wife, you fell in love, you want to get married to that person, you want to go somewhere else. Everybody wants positive thinking. Why doesn't it work? Because positive thinking is not productive. It is not resourceful. So if you want to think positively, please think with a resourceful thinking. And that is where the concept of gratitude comes. Surah Rahman. It gives a beautiful explanation of certain mental attitudes. So whenever you are grateful for something that you already have, what does it put you into? A resourceful state. Isn't it? So I am grateful for what I am today. I am grateful for my health, wealth, fame, popularity, health. So when I am thinking of, my God, I am so grateful, instantly the state of my beingness changes. From a low depressed state, from a state of worrying, sulking, thinking negatively, my God, I didn't have this, I didn't have it. They all have it. From a state of jealousy, envious, suddenly I rise to a very different productive state because I somehow thought about all the great blessings that I have in my life. And this is the resourcefulness. Okay? So remember, whenever you feel low, whenever you feel depressed, whenever you feel weak, whenever you feel things are not happening the way I want them to be, because people are out there and more control, it happens all the time. There is always a person on top of you. Isn't it? You become the chairman of a company, then they are board members, they are stockholders, they are above you. They decide what the company needs to do. You become an admiral, then there is the president of this country above your head, isn't it? So, regardless of where you go, there will always be somebody on your head. And if you feel like sleeping, you can sleep, my friend, no problem. I'm just looking at you, enjoying. I think you didn't have a sleep last night, so it's okay. Some people sleep. We go to the next one. Now, some of the benefits. See, I'm using the word positive thinking because we all are used to positive thinking. So I just put positive thinking. I'm not going to hurt your perceptions. Okay, let it be there, you believe. So positive thinking reduces daily stress. But just positive thinking doesn't. It has to be a resourceful state. Because resourceful thinking has gratitude, thankfulness. You get a better health, great, a strong confidence, you live a longer life. But do you live a longer life just by thinking positive? No, you have to act. Okay. See, there is something very interesting I should tell you. And these are some of the latest research that have been made in this country, in this world, I'm sorry, not in this country. They found certain things which are very extraordinary for us to think and reflect about. The DNA that makes us whatever we are is our DNA, right? Our DNA gets influenced by our thinking. Our DNA gets influenced by our thinking. I hope I am making sense. DNA, right? So when you go into a cell, and from the cell you go into a molecule, and from the molecule you go into the DNA, from the DNA you go into atomic structure. When you go into the atom, there is a subatomic level, and within the subatomic level there is a quantum field where there is nothing but photons, energy. So it's called a field. And that field gets influenced the way we think. So a person who thinks negatively, again I'm using the word for your benefit, then that cell is negatively programmed. Negatively programmed. When you think productively with a resourceful state or what you call a positive thinking, then that positivity goes into that cell and the cell is positively programmed. Has anybody seen a research video? It's on YouTube. You can watch it today if you want. Message of the water or message from the water. Has anybody seen that? Oh God, you guys have to do a lot with water and you don't know anything about water. Okay? Just watch it today if you can. At night, maybe or tomorrow or on your weekend. A Japanese scientist did some remarkable studies on water. And one of the things he found out is that water stores information. It stores information. It means that when I'm talking to you right now, there is water in this glass, isn't it? So if I'm talking positive, if I'm talking resourceful, if I'm talking with a lot of joy, conviction, belief, all the information that I'm saying with my tongue is going into this water. Number one. Number two, if I'm thinking, not saying anything, just thinking, good or bad, negative or positive thinking, the water is catching it, it's in the water. This has been proved through this video, a research video. You will be shocked. Now, this water, when consumed, goes into my system, and the information that this water has goes into each and every 100 trillion cells of my body. So I am thinking about how to make somebody suffer, how to steal his money, how to degrade him. I'm thinking, I'm jealous. The water in my body is getting negatively programmed. I'm sure you all know that more than 90% of your blood is water. More than 65% of your body by weight is water. It's all water inside. So either when I'm thinking negatively or I'm saying something negative, in both the cases, the water inside my body is negatively programmed. And they tested it to such an extent that they took tap water, in Japanese, they consider water as something very noble. So they took tap water and put it into two different jars. On one jar or one bottle, they placed a label, I hate you. On the other, they placed a label, I love you. After 24 hours, they took both the water samples from both the jars and they placed it in refrigerator at minus 25 degrees centigrade. Once it was frozen, they took out both the samples of the water, and when it was coming back to normal, just before it turned into water from ice to water, they placed it under an electron microscope. And what they saw was shocking. The water on which they just put a label, I hate you, it had strange kind of shapes, geometrical shapes, but broken, distorted, ugly. And the same water that they placed a slip on, I love you, that water had crystal like diamond. Same water. So can the water also read what you have written? Yes, it can. Because when you're writing something, your thoughts go into space. They even took boiled rice, 2 jars, sealed it, completely sealed. No air should go in, so no moisture should go in. And I think on one jar, again the same word hate, one love, joy. After 1 month, the jar in which the word hate was there turned black. The jar in which the word love was there was the same. This is the power of thinking. This is the power of thinking. And we don't even know what we are thinking. We don't even realize the importance of what to think, how to think, when to think. Has anybody taught you how to think? No. I don't know of any university, school or college in the entire world which teaches you how to think. Nothing. They don't know of. Thinking should be a conscious process. You should have the conscious ability to be able to consciously think what you want to think. We don't do that. You know, where does this thinking come from? Past. Past. So you will be surprised if I tell you most people live in the past. Thinking is always in the past. Whenever there is a challenge, you always refer to what happened in the past. There's nothing right or wrong about it. But the problem is, learn to think in the present and live in the present. When you think in the past, you actually live in the past. Physically you may be in the present, but actually living in the past. Past may have resources, wonderful. But then go into that resourceful state. We don't go into resourceful state. Do you know something? Once somebody asked me, I think I was in England, London, a few years back, and one of the trainings I was giving, a Muslim lady stood up and asked, if one should think positive, why is it our kalma starts from negative? La ilaha illallah. It should have started from positive. Interesting question, right? Why is the kalma that makes you a Muslim starts with no? And I told her the reason why it starts from no. See, if you have this glass of water filled up to the brim, in fact, let me give you a story that will help you to understand. There was this American, a chairman of a big corporation, under a lot of stress, tension, anxiety, because big business, big money, big losses. So big fears. Small business, less fear, because you lose less. Lucky are the people who don't have anything to lose. They sleep without any sleeping pills. They can sleep with comfort. So he was under a lot of stress, he was taking sleeping pills. One of his friends advised him that it's high time you get rid of this medicines that you are taking. So I know of a person in Japan, he runs a monastery. He teaches you how to meditate. You go to him, stay there for a couple of days, get fresh, and once you come back, you have learned how to meditate, and then you don't need medication. I'm using the word meditate, I hope you know what is meditate, right? Meditation. So he tells his secretary, the secretary books everything. He goes to this great monastery in Japan, Zen monastery, where they teach meditation. So they check him into a beautiful room, very expensive room, and he was given instructions that, these are going to be the rules. This time lunch, this time dinner, this time breakfast, and you will be going through different exercises, meditation. But the sensei, the master, will meet you every day at 6 p.m. Not before that, and only once every day, 6 p.m. So you make sure 6 p.m. you are here outside this hall. He will call you, meet you, and talk to you. First day he goes there, meets the sensei, very excited. I've come from this country and I'm such a big man, chairman. I have my own aircraft, I have my own jet, everything, and I am in so much stress and tension. I've come here to learn to meditate. The teacher says, come tomorrow. Next day he goes, the teacher talks to him and says, come tomorrow. And this keeps on happening until it's the last day. Now he's very furious and very angry because he had spent 10 days here. He spent a lot of money. He was away from work, which means he lost a lot of business. And this old man keeps on saying, come tomorrow. And he is so furious, he goes to the master at 6 and says, listen, I had enough of you. I came here to learn to meditate. I spent a lot of money, I spent a lot of time, and every day you seem to tell me, come tomorrow. Where the hell are you going to teach me to meditate? And the master looks at him and smiles, and then signals one of his disciples. He brings a pitcher of water and a glass of water. The master fills the glass with water up to the brim, and then he starts putting in more water. The glass is already full. Whatever water he pours spills out. The American can't understand what is going on. So the teacher then smiles and says, see, if the glass is already full, I cannot put anything inside. You came here to empty your glass. But for 10 days, every day I checked, you could not empty your glass. And this is why we have Kalma Shahada. La. Empty all that you have inside. Because then the new faith and the new doctrine can only go if you are empty. That is the reason why the Kalma starts with La. So La is not negative. It is emptying the vessel. Empty the vessel. And we all, many times in our life, worships small gods. We don't even know that. Okay. So let's talk more about something. Healthier life, you have more friends, better management, important decisions, and list goes on. Oh, I'm sorry. I must have told you. Okay. How to do positive thinking? Now, I have a very different way. I'm just giving it here so that, if you feel you need the copy of this, I'm sure you can be provided with a copy of this. And you can use positive words. So, again, positive words. I told you, start from the beginning. Words create meaning. Meaning goes through a process of cognition. Cognition creates or invokes feelings. If you say you are a dog, a person gets offended. Why? Because there is a certain connotation and a feeling associated with the word dog. But a lion, another feeling. Okay? So use words and be very careful when you use them. Like, for example, we teach in our programs, if a person is tense and you say, don't be tense, it's okay. You can say it. But instead of that, if it's better, you say, relax. Your brain cannot process certain words. Don't, it can't process. Because don't does not have an image. Remember at the start I told you, your brain works in images. So use words that already have an image. You are a handsome man. So handsome man has an image. You are a beautiful girl. So beautiful girl has an image. You are a graceful person. Graceful person. Right? So use words that have images. Is it easy for you to understand? Simple words that have images, right? Good. Then remove all the feelings that are not positive. Not easy. It's not easy to remove feelings that are not positive because somehow we love negative feelings also. I remember I was doing hypnosis about 20 years back in Islamabad, and there was a gentleman who was a retired major. He was quite old now, with a long beard, and he had his own state agency. So he was working in he had his own business. And he said, something interesting happens to me. I said, what? He says, every time, if in the morning, before I go for my office, if I listen to one particular song, a very old song, I feel depressed. I start crying and I don't go to my office that day. I said, why do you listen? He said, sometimes I want to listen. See, I told you, we love negativity also. So I said, do you have any reasons for that? He said, no reasons. So I asked him to come on the stage. And I made him close his eyes and I made him think of the song. And believe me, he was 65 years old at that time. People can see the tears coming out. He started crying, 65 years old. And I knew what was the reason behind it. Of course, I never told the participants, but I knew. There was something associated with that song in the past. And that event was tragic, but that tragedy was also giving him some kind of consolation. Something was there, apart from negativity. He didn't want to let it go. But he said that if I can't go for my business and I'm losing my business. Because sometimes I keep on listening for days this song. So I disassociated, I disconnected the song and the feeling. So the feeling was gone, the song was there. So he was okay. Now when he listens to the song, he does not go into depression. I'm sure you understand what I mean. When he was young, he was in love with a girl. At that time, they used to listen to the song. They were supposed to get married. Things did not happen. The girl was married to somebody else. He was married to somebody else. But even still, that connection was there. And that connection, ladies' view and a lot of gentlemen, is something very similar to what you're used to. It is called an anchor. You have anchor on a ship? What does an anchor do? You put the anchor down, the ship stops. So we have millions and millions of anchors we don't even know. Every event creates an anchor. And when that anchor is fired, we go into that state. And most of the time, it is unproductive negative state. Anchors are everywhere. And that is why I told you, after the age of 7, you don't learn anything. Because anchors are already there. And they keep on happening, firing. Cricket is an anchor. See what happens in the Middle East when India and Pakistan plays? Some television sets are broken. Especially our Pakhtun friends. When Pakistan loses, they break the television. Okay? Next. Use words that evoke strength and success. Do we use words in our daily language in communicating with people and with ourselves? Words that evoke strength. What are the words that would evoke strength? Anybody tell me? Come on. Words that evoke strength. Paida karte strength. What are the words? Shahadat is one word. Jihad is another word. What else? Iman is another word. Blessing is another word. What else? These are religious terms. Anything apart from religious?
Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm.
Okay. What else?
Courage.
Fortune, rich, success, happiness, joy. These are the words. See the salam that we are supposed to say to each other when we meet Assalamu alaikum. That itself is a very joyous and a positive. We don't do it. Abroad, I lived there for so many years. I was in the US for so many years. Everybody who is a stranger also, good day, have a nice day, have a great weekend. They don't even know you, don't know them, but everybody is saying something very positive. So such words, Assalamu alaikum, you should say it. Okay? Because this invokes strength and success. Then practice positive affirmation. What are affirmations? Affirmations are sentences. For example, in the early 18th century, there was a physicist. His name was Emily Q. And he had this strange idea that if people were to repeat every day, in every way, I am getting better, better, and better, as many times as they can, something miraculous happens, and it happened. A lot of people who were suffering from incurable disease at that time, 18th century, there was no medical science. Okay, people got cured. Every day, in every way, I am getting better, better, and better. Keep on reciting that. That's a positive affirmation. Or you can say, every day, I feel myself more and more confident. Positive affirmation. Every day, I am looking forward to Allah's grace. Very positive. So, positive affirmation. May your life be blessed. This is positive affirmation for the other person. May you have more joy in your life. I pray for you every day. This is positive affirmation to the other person. Redirect your thought. How do you redirect your thought? Anybody knows? Like, for example, some of you hate the idea of physical exercises that you are made to do here, right? Let's be honest, yes or no? The commandant was telling me 7 miles and then increases to 14 miles. Okay, now, huh? They love it. Great. What is it that you don't love it? Just an example. Come on, talk. I'll change it to loving it. You just need to tell me what you don't like. Huh? Just one word, please. You like the food here? Good food, right? What about the rest period or recreation time? No recreation. Yes or no? So recreation is what you like. Okay, got it. Now why do you need recreation? Recreation is all in the mind. So when you feel that you need time off, although you may be working, although you may be reading something, although you may be studying, you change your mental state by just thinking about something that you enjoy. You know that? What happens? If you're in a task which is boring, which is difficult, which is undesirable, but you have to do it because it's part of the training, right? You have to do it. You don't have a choice. So what do you do then? You think about something that you love doing. And what kind of emotions come? Instantly your state of mind will change. Instantly. I give you an example. Years back, I was in class 10, metric. And it was end of the month. So my pocket money nearly gone, finished. I just few rupees left. So my friends asked me, let's go for a movie. And I said, my God, I don't know whether this movie is a good movie or not. But I hardly have any pocket money left. So if it's a bad movie, I'll hate it. They said it's a good movie. Went for a movie. I spent all my money, popcorn, everything. It was a terrible movie. Terrible. And I was so angry. I was always an angry person. Very angry person. I was so angry. My friends were sitting there in the cinema. I was shouting and screaming, why the hell did you bring me here? What happened? I lost all my money. And I was very angry. And all of a sudden there was a scene. And the scene was the hero wakes up in the morning, he goes to the kitchen and he fries 2 eggs sunny side up. I hope you know what is sunny side up, right? And then there are 2 toasts. The moment I saw the sight of sunny side up and the 2 toasts, I instantly thought, tomorrow I'll ask my mom to make me the same eggs. Instantly my mood changed. I was not angry. I was okay. Why? Because I had eggs sunny side up in my mind. Are you getting me? That visual was so strong because I love fried eggs. I love fried eggs. And sunny side up, of course, I don't like sunny side up now. I have over easy, which means you turn the egg for half a minute and then bring it back. But that was something so, I realized that scenario, that image changed my mental state. So if you are in a terrible state, unproductive state, unresourceful state, negative mental state, thinking negatively, what do? You think of something that you love to think about. And instantly your state of mind may change. You will be amazed how it goes. Let's go over to this very quickly. Start thinking you will succeed. Of course, whenever we think that this will happen, something. How many of you have heard about law of attraction? Okay, 1, 2. Okay. I think the faculty should tell them something about law of attraction. It is one of Allah's universal law of attraction. Basically, it says, if you put your mind on something with certain conditions important, just positive thinking doesn't work, then you attract that thing in your life. Remember, as kids, we used to hear a story of a shepherd, a young shepherd boy, who used to take all the cattle of the villages and go away, far away to make them graze. Right? They would graze, the cattle would graze, and he would be there doing nothing. One day he suddenly had this idea. He started shouting, lion, 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 lion. All the villagers came. And there was no lion. So they started getting angry. Why the hell did you do it? And he was laughing because he enjoyed this prank. After a few days he did again. One day a lion actually came and the villagers did not come to save the cattle. This is the law of attraction. So when you think about something, with certain other elements need to be present. Remember, just positive thinking won't do. If you want to do positive thinking, do it with a lot of feelings, a lot of gratitude. Then it will work. Because gratitude and feelings converts your positive thinking into a resourceful thinking. Resource. Whenever you want to win a particular challenge, a task, an examination, or on the stage you're giving a speech and you want to be good at it, you want to win that, remember the thing that you need to do is think about your last success, whatever it may be. Last time when you were very successful in something. The moment you think of the last success that you had, instantly it puts you into a success mode. And when you are in that success mode, your neurology and physiology is aligned in a way that if you are giving a presentation, you're giving an exam, you're doing a particular task, you will be successful. This is the power of using your thoughts correctly. So we call it positive thinking, fine. I also call it positive thinking. But remember, it is much more than positive thinking. Let's see what do we have next. The last one is very, very important. Of course, I don't have enough time. I just 2-3 minutes left. But let me tell you something that is extremely important. Past and present in reality do not exist. Time is a phenomena created by the mind. In reality, there is no time. But in order to live, survive, work, we need the concept of time. And the time helps us to be time bound. You wake up at a certain time in the morning, you eat at a certain time, you go to your office at a certain time, your classes are so life is disciplined and compartmentalized because of time. If there was no time, we could not think. We cannot think without time. So whenever we need to think outside time, we can't think. An average person can't think beyond time and space. His thinking is limited within time and space. But having said so, whatever you are here today, it is because of something that you thought maybe a year back, 2 years back, I don't know. Isn't this true? You decided to come to this academy. You thought about it. Or somebody gave you an idea and you said, okay, I'll go. Willingly or unwillingly, you came. But it was your past that made you present. And what you will be today is dependent on what you do today. Your present makes the future. And remember, Allah has given each one of us everything that we need to do. Everything that we need to be successful. The complete authority on how I live my life. He doesn't interfere. He doesn't interfere. You do something wrong, he doesn't stop you. You do something right, it doesn't reward you immediately at that time. You go for Jummah prayer, sometimes it is very hot. Very hot. And the sun is right on top of your head. Two angels come with an umbrella because you're going for namaz, so Allah says, go, my dear angels, and protect him from sunlight because you're going for namaz. No angel will protect you. Your life is in your hand. Your destiny is in your hand. Your thinking and your actions will create your tomorrow, provided you act now. So make sure you don't lose time. Thank you very much.
Sir, I've got two questions. The first one starts with Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi saying that the reality of a person is his mind. Everything else is just flesh and bones. So my question is about the origin of thought. Aristotle and Plato concluded by their studies that the thought cannot be human created. It is God created. So then who to blame if a person from weak birth is not given the same thoughts as of a well-successful person? The second question, sir,
There are two questions.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I thought these were two, but anyway.
Sir, the second question is that you told about human mind works on pictures, not on words. Whenever we think about God, we don't have any pictures, being a Muslim, right? So, what
How does the mind work?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You see, Maulana Rumi's poetry is तुम्हारी असल हकीकत तुम्हारी सोच है बाकी सब हड्डियां और पोस्ट है. It's beautiful poetry. So your reality is what you think you are. If you think you are successful, you are successful. You think I am a failure, you are a failure. So your thought contains your beliefs and what has been told to you, taught to you, programmed into your brain. So whatever your thoughts are, you become like that. A person becomes a murderer, a person loots a country, becomes sinister. It is because of the thoughts that we have. Now, so if, according to Plato and Socrates, the thought is not from God, there are two types of thoughts. One thought is connected with our past, which means everything that you've done so far. From the time you were in your mother's womb, every information that was happening outside, your parents talking to each other, your mother talking to her mother-in-law, or whatever the conditions of the environment was, when you were inside your mother's womb, every information was there. And when you came into this world, the first touch, the first taste of your mother's milk, the first hug, the first kiss, everything is the thought at the subconscious level. Now these thoughts, the two thoughts, one is the conscious level, one is the subconscious level. What happens is, actually, you do not think anything new, except once a while in your life. All the thoughts are connected with your past. You will think earlier, say, how come this thought came into mind? I've never done it, I've never thought it. It is there because it is connected not only with you, but also 11 generations of your ancestors. 11 generations of your ancestors. How is it that a child is 2 years old and starts playing music? How is a child is 2 years old and starts painting and drawing? Because within the genes there is a particular trait of someone in that generation who was good in music, good in poetry, good in art. And the child has started doing it at a very small age, which is not possible for everyone. Okay? So apart from the genetic information that is passed on, secondly, whatever was passed on when you were in your mother's womb, and then when you were born, and whatever information was happening around you, all these create thoughts. So these are the thoughts that we all seem to have. A study in the United Kingdom confirmed that an average person in an 8 hours of awake state approximately has 65,000 thoughts. In 8 hours, you approximately entertain 60,000 thoughts, plus thought. Now, most of the time, every thought seems to have a connection. Every thought that you think has a connection. But then you do not think every thought.
Every thought is not thought. Only when you think about something, that becomes a thought. Otherwise, it is just fleeting like the waves of water. They come and go, you're not noticing it. But the moment you start noticing a particular thought, that is what you think about. But otherwise, you don't think about so many things. For example, I don't read newspaper. Last 15 years, I stopped reading newspaper. Nonsense. Why should I get under stress reading about things that people think that they are right? I don't watch political programs. Why? Because I know that the four politicians who fight each other, after the show, they are sitting with each other having a cup of tea. And they're really not bothered what they said. It's all for rating. So I don't watch. Why? Because I don't want to have other thoughts corrupt my original thinking. So why should I have these thoughts? I don't. So I have a choice whether to think about such things or not. So I don't do that. Now, once in a while, some people, all the great discoveries and inventions in this world that you see, have just come out from nothing. The first wheel that was made, how come a person who did not have a thought of a wheel suddenly saw a log coming down from a steep hill, and he thought about how easy it is if the shape is round, and this is how we invented the first wheel. So it means there must be some other place, somewhere, the origin thought comes. All great inventions. I tell you about the guy who made the sewing machine. He made the sewing machine, but every time the thread would come out of the cloth. So he was very shocked as to we've been working for so many years. Somehow he could not stitch the cloth. One day, out of desperation, he was sleeping. He had a dream. He dreamed he was in a jungle, and there were man-eaters who caught him. And he was taken to the tribal leader. And the tribal leader said, tomorrow morning you either make the sewing machine work, or we will kill and eat you. And suddenly he sees another scenario where it's morning and he's caught and taken to the leader. The leader said, we have not been able to make the machine, so today we are going to kill you and eat you. Suddenly sees one of the person who has a spear and is about to hit him, and he sees the front part of the spear, his eyes open. And he thinks that there's something I saw. The spear, the head of the spear, had a hole right in the front. So the mistake he was making was the needle had a hole at the top, not in the front, lower end. So he placed a hole into the needle and he started stitching the clothes. Where did this dream come from? Yes. Allah guides people who want to be guided. So people who work hard and spend their lives in research, trying to find something better for humanity, then they are guided by a higher reality. Yes, true. But not all thoughts. Most of the thoughts are our subconscious mind, past thoughts, irradiation thoughts. But something very different, very new, something that is out of this world. Remember, there's something else that I want to tell you. This might come as something very strange. You may have seen science fiction movies, right? Star Trek, science fiction. But what was in Star Trek many years back is a reality now. Laptop, mobile phone, everything is a reality. Right? Twitter is a reality. So whatever the human mind can think right now, whatever you can think, it will happen. Or it has already happened. Because we are talking about parallel universe. I am here, but 5 minutes before this time, I was somewhere else also. I was there speaking, right? So my thought, my words, my actions can't get lost in space. They are in space. So I am existing at different dimensions in different time periods. So remember this. Just a small break for example. Question. Are we in Islam ever told to create an image of God? No. Because your brain cannot create an image of God. It just can't. That is why when you pray in namaz, your eyes are supposed to be open, not closed. Because if you close your eyes, the chances are your brain will start to create an image which is not true. So, brain, any image that the brain creates will not be of Allah. Right? And this is why it happens in many other religions. Like in Hinduism, it was difficult for them to perceive God or conceive God with their eyes closed So they made deities which represented the qualities of whatever gods that they believe in. And you ask them, they say, oh, this is not God. This deity that I am worshipping is not God. God is a... But I am having this deity because it helps me to focus on God. That's why they do it. You ask them. So, your brain cannot make an image of God. Thanks God it can't. Because otherwise it would be shit. Okay? So I think that's time is up. It's 1 o'clock. If anybody has a question, ask me.
One more question.
One more question. Okay, madam wants to ask yes.
This is your Sir, I wanted to ask that whenever we face any failure, we are asked that we should focus that we are asked to focus that there can be two things that lead us towards failure. That it's in your luck, or second thing is that be grateful for the things you have. Right now, do not think about things that you do not have right now. Sir, I just wanted to ask.
I can't hear you properly. Can you make it very short?
Yes, sir. So I just wanted to know the third aspect to feel grateful about the failure. The two aspects are to be grateful for the things we already have, and the second is to blame our luck. That it wasn't your luck, that's why. I just wanted to know third reason to be motivated.
Great, good. You see, this belief that it was not good for me is basically like a shock absorber. So it's good when you have bumps of life, when things do not happen the way you want it to happen, then you need to believe in a higher benevolent reality that it maybe Allah didn't want it to do, right? But let that not come in the way of you striving for something higher in your life. Every failure is a feedback. Every time you fail, it's a step towards success. Problem is, people take failure as failure. Thomas Edison was asked by one of his friends, who was really annoyed because he could not make a bulb light a bulb. And one day he said, "You are an idiot. What the hell are you doing? You have failed 9,999 times. You cannot light a bulb." He said, "I have not failed. I have learned that there are 9,999 days I cannot light a bulb." Isn't this strange? So his failure was basically a feedback. We need to learn from our mistakes. Now, as a Muslim community all over the world, we have not learned from our mistakes. We have not learned from our past. Right? So we need to learn. If things do not go this way, try other ways. Try other methods. Try to do things differently. If people did not do things differently, there would not be different things in this life. For example, there would be one car, but there are a number of cars. Different models, different shapes, different specifications, right? Why? Because people started thinking differently. There would be one aeroplane, but there are so many kinds of aeroplanes now. So when people start thinking differently, it is because if they don't accomplish what they want, they don't take it as a failure, they take it as a feedback and try to learn from it. Every day in life, if there are times when you don't achieve something, what lesson do I have? What lesson have I learned? If you can reflect on that, what lesson have I learned? You would be successful the next time. Thank you very much. Allah bless you all.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Sir, on behalf of my cadets, my faculty, and from me, I would convey my profound gratitude for sparing your valuable time and coming all the way to Naval Academy. The worthy speaker, indeed, in a very convincing manner, has explained, narrated to us how positive thinking, how productive thinking can change our mindset, eventually our life. You see, positive thinking is actually the essence of doing everything. Even our religion tells us, like the worthy guest speaker told us, and we all know, is that we must always remain positive. Because negativity is actually haram in Islam. It is haram in our religion. If you generate negativity within you, then eventually you are not able to do even the small tasks. And slowly and with the passage of time, you start failing in doing even the small steps of your life. So it is haram. Such a big order has been given to negativity. As the worthy speaker narrated, that we need to realize that there are new things that we do. We have to learn that help in creativity, and how he showed us that you can control people when you are in a state of confusion, and how we need to all come to a common platform, because all of us have different thoughts, we have different ways of doing things, but we need to come to a common platform. But as long as you are in this academy, the common platform is what I tell you to do. So please keep focus on that. We need to be productive. External, internal resources have to be channelized. Use positive words. All are very important. You know, the beauty of our religion is that it always teaches us that whenever something goes which you did not expect it to go in that manner, look at someone who is in a lower state than you are. Always look at a person who is lower than what you are in. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Keep repeating these words that God has blessed you. Just think of the thousands and thousands of people who applied to be a cadet in Pakistan Navy, and out of all those you got selected. There may be a few bumps, a few hiccups. You may have, abrasions, you may have stress fractures, but these are small steps in making you reach to a higher level. So please always remain grateful to Allah. There are so many people in this country who do not have the basic facilities that you enjoy today while sitting here. Always think of people who are lower than you are, and you will remain positive and you will remain thankful to Allah. There's a story of a tennis star, maybe some of you might have heard that. He won the Wimbledon. Eventually he had cancer, and one of his fans, he wrote in a letter that, we love you, the way you played tennis, but why you? So he replied to his fan, he said that 500,000 people, boys, they start learning tennis in England. Out of that, 50,000 are able to come to the circuit. Out of 50,000, 5,000 can actually start playing tennis professionally. Out of those 5,000, 50 reach to international tournaments, and out of those 50, only one wins the Wimbledon. At that time, I never asked God why me. So why should I ask now when He has given me cancer? See the positivity. Always remain thankful for what God has given you, not what He has not given you. Because He knows better, He judges better, He sees better. What has to be given to that person is to be decided by Allah. Do not challenge His authority. Remain thankful to what He has given you. He knows the quality of each and every one of you, and that is what is given to that person. Having said that, it does not mean that you do not inspire to do great things or to learn more. The thing that I need to tell you, the underlying factor is, do not regret what is not coming in your way. Always be positive and say that, Alhamdulillah, whatever came was good. I will try harder next time. Even if it does not come, then again say Alhamdulillah. Because that is what inspires us as Muslims. That is what will motivate you. That is why I keep requesting you that you must pray 5 times a day. Bow down in front of Him. Be humble. Be kind. And always remember that it is He who has given you what you have today. just on the lighter side, the verbal speaker said that anchors, they hold the ship. Sir, just for your information, anchors do not hold the ship. It is actually the cable that holds the ship, and the anchor holds the cable. So, just on the lighter side. But as leaders, your men will look up to you. The way you are looking to me, they will look to you in the future. If you are positive, if you generate that positive vibe, they will follow you to death. They will follow you in war. You have heard stories, you have watched movies, small group of soldiers doing great things. It is the leadership that inspires men. It is his positivity that goes into the hearts of his men that create exceptional stories, tales that are said for years and years ahead. So, it is for each one of you to remain positive so that you can lead your men in tough terrains, in exceptional circumstances. I keep telling all of you that I have a lot of hope with you boys. I think you are an amazing generation. You will be the key that will lead Pakistan into the future. I have my full faith in this. It is not my generation, it is your generation. I keep telling you in every lecture, I have a lot of positivity, a lot of positive vibes from you. So I request you to remain positive, because I know, I have belief that you people will take Pakistan to where it should be in the elements of this world community. Remain positive. Don't let despair. The enemy will always try to give despair into your hearts through the social media, Twitter, Facebook. It is all negative thoughts. It is all untrue. It is a lie. If you believe in Pakistan, I swear to Almighty Allah, nobody can touch this country. And I know for a fact that you will take it to greater heights. Keep committed, keep devoted, have strong faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And inshallah, each one of you will do wonders in your life. Again, in the end, I would like to extend my profound gratitude, sir. You've given an amazing lecture, and all of us are very thankful for sparing your valuable time. Thank you very much, sir.